Everyone says American trains are terrible, but they are wrong. Yes, passenger rail is a mess, but when it comes to moving freight, the United States runs the most dominant rail network on the planet. More cargo than Europe and Japan combined. 40% of everything shipped in this country rides on steel rails. So how did a system everyone loves to mock become the quiet powerhouse behind the world's largest economy? Freight trains in the United States don't just move a lot of cargo, they move more than any other rail system on Earth. Nearly 40% of all freight transported in America, measured by ton miles, rides the rails. That is not just coal and grain, but everything from cars to chemicals to the containers that stock big box shelves. By sheer weight, rail still accounts for 18% of all United States freight, over 1.2 billion tons each year, according to the Freight Analysis Framework. The network itself is vast, about 140,000 route miles of track, stretching from coast to coast and deep into the heartland. To put that into perspective, the American rail system covers nearly twice the distance of Europe's mainline network, and more than 20 times the length of Japan's. But it is not just about miles, it is about volume. In 2023, United States railroads moved 2.1 trillion ton-miles of freight. That is more than double the combined total of all European Union countries and Japan together. While Europe's trains are packed with passengers, and Japan's bullet trains set speed records, America's rails quietly haul more cargo farther, faster, and with fewer interruptions than anywhere else. These numbers are not an accident. They reflect a system built for scale, designed to move mountains of goods across a continent. The question is not whether American freight rail is good. The question is how a country with such a poor reputation for passenger trains became the undisputed heavyweight in global rail freight. America's railroads aren't just long, they're engineered for maximum throughput, thanks to a series of design choices that set them apart from the rest of the world. At the heart of this system is private ownership. Unlike Europe, where the state owns the tracks and splits operations among many companies, the main United States freight lines are run by a handful of giant Class I railroads. These companies, like BNSF, Union Pacific, CSX, and Norfolk Southern, own the rails, the yards, and the rolling stock. That means every dollar earned from moving a load of coal or containers can go straight back into upgrading track, buying new locomotives, or expanding capacity. There is no waiting for government budgets or European Union funding rounds. If a bridge needs raising to fit taller trains, it gets done. This freedom to invest and innovate led to one of the most important breakthroughs in rail freight, the double-stack container train. In the 1980s, United States railroads began stacking shipping containers too high on specially designed well cars. The result is that a single train could now haul twice as many containers with the same crew over the same distance. Today, over 80% of American intermodal traffic moves this way. It is a feat nearly impossible in Europe or Japan, where lower tunnels and tighter clearances make double stacking rare or outright banned. Long trains are the norm here. It is not unusual to see a freight train stretching 2 miles, sometimes up to 12,000 feet, snaking across the plains. These giants carry as much as 200 trucks worth of cargo in one go. To keep these behemoths safe and efficient, the Federal Railroad Administration required all major lines to install positive train control by 2020. This digital system automatically monitors speeds and train positions, reducing the risk of collisions and allowing more trains to run closer together. Each of these choices, private investment, double stacking, long trains, and advanced safety technology, translates raw scale into real-world muscle. They are the invisible gears that make America's freight trains the envy of the world. A single freight train in the United States can travel from Los Angeles to Chicago without ever needing to change tracks, adjust its wheels, or swap out crews at a border. That kind of seamless movement is only possible because the entire country shares one standard gauge and a unified set of safety rules. From the Atlantic to the Pacific, American freight railroads operate as one continuous system. No language barriers, no voltage changes, no customs checks slowing things down. This physical and regulatory unity stands in sharp contrast to Europe, where even a short cross-border journey can mean switching locomotives, swapping crews, or waiting for a new set of safety checks. The European Union has worked for decades to harmonize rail operations, but the legacy of national borders still lingers. Freight trains moving from France to Germany or from Poland to Austria often face a patchwork of regulations and technical standards. Even the track gauge, while mostly standard, shifts in places like Spain and the Baltics, forcing time-consuming transfers. In the US, a container can be double-stacked in Seattle and delivered to Atlanta without ever leaving the rails or facing a regulatory hurdle. The result is a network built for frictionless, coast-to-coast movement, one that rewards scale and efficiency. European railroads, by comparison, juggle a dense web of passenger services and fragmented oversight, making long-haul freight less practical. The American system's unity is not just a matter of geography, it is a deliberate design, shaped by a century of private investment and national standards. This is why US freight trains can run longer, heavier, and more reliably than their European counterparts, turning geography and regulation into a competitive edge. Moving a ton of freight by rail in the United States costs just 2 to 4 cents per mile. To cover that same distance by truck, the price jumps to 8, 10, sometimes even 20 cents. For shippers moving thousands of tons, those pennies add up to billions in savings every year. But the financial edge does not stop with the invoice. Railroads stretch every drop of fuel further than any truck on the highway. The average freight train moves 1 ton of cargo nearly 480 miles on a single gallon of diesel. Trucks manage about 130 ton-miles per gallon, a quarter of the distance. That fuel efficiency pays off at the pump and in the atmosphere. According to the EPA, every ton-mile shifted from truck to rail cuts carbon dioxide emissions by 2/3. A freight train releases about 22 grams of carbon dioxide per ton-mile, while a long-haul truck emits around 65 grams. Over the course of a year, that difference adds up to millions of tons of avoided emissions. Scale multiplies the impact. A single intermodal train can replace up to 300 trucks, clearing highways and shrinking the nation's carbon footprint in one move. Nearly 28% of U.S. rail freight now moves in intermodal containers, consumer goods, electronics, and clothing that once clogged the interstates. These numbers are not just impressive, they are the direct result of design choices, long trains, double stacking, and a network built to move goods at scale. The American model is not perfect for passengers, but when it comes to moving freight, it is unmatched in cost, fuel savings, and emissions. Every mile of track is a force multiplier, turning private investment and engineering into national economic and environmental gains. Every rail system reflects the choices its country made. In the United States, freight comes first. Private companies own the rails and set the rules, designing every mile for maximum cargo capacity. Europe took a different path. Governments own most of the tracks, and the network is built around moving people, not goods. That's why European passenger trains are fast, frequent, and reliable, but freight trains there are shorter, less efficient, and face constant scheduling conflicts with passenger service. In America, the opposite is true. Long trains, double-stacked containers, and unified coast-to-coast corridors are possible because the system is not split between public and private priorities. The result is not a failure. It's a deliberate trade-off. Europe chose to move people. America chose to move goods. Neither model is wrong. Each reflects what its society values most. American freight railroads are not standing still. Precision scheduled railroading, often abbreviated as PSR, has swept through the industry, tightening schedules and pushing efficiency gains across major Class 1 carriers. Since 2017, PSR has helped drive operating ratios down by as much as 10 points, freeing up capital for new locomotives and expanded capacity. Meanwhile, federal support is shifting as well. The Federal Railroad Administration, or FRA, has pledged over $48 million in annual funding for intermodal yard upgrades and short-line connections. But the central question remains, can the United States keep boosting freight capacity while making room for stronger passenger service? The answer, for now, is still up for debate. America's rail network is not broken, it's built for freight. By choosing private ownership, long trains, and double-stacked cargo, the United States moves more goods by rail than Europe and Japan combined. This is not failure, it is a deliberate trade-off. The world's best freight trains are no accident. What would you prioritize?